right, believe it or not, this is pretty much flat. There are some major bubbles, one here, one up here, that I'm gonna use fairing compound to fix. I was hoping to avoid using fairing compound because I didn't want to crack it open before winter, but in this case I'm definitely going to need it up here and to fill cracks and bubbles. Been sanding all day. My finger sander is down there. I hope it's okay, but could be broke. Spent about 4 hours sanding, grinding back anything that was on top. Some of the paint is underneath a layer of epoxy. Just sanded the epoxy on top, and then there were some areas like that had bubbles or that were kind of fill areas that were not going to be sandable or grindable within the day. So I just spread this fairing compound over everything, and that should have filled all the holes and bubbles. So I'm just gonna let this dry and then it'll be sandable. So we're gonna knock this back in a couple days when it's dry and put the gel coat over the top, and that's how it's gonna be for the winter, I think. So now we have the thickened epoxy in the crevice in there, and I noticed a pretty large gap back there that I also filled with thickened epoxy. And something that's never happened to me before happened, and I got burned and the skin came off where some thickened epoxy came off my glove and hit my wrist. So that's no fun. That stung like hell. Well, it's the next day, and my mother-in-law has blessed me with another day on the boat and offered to watch the kids. So here we are. Looks like everything is ready to be sanded again, and once this is all sanded smooth, then we're going to be able to apply the gel coat before it rains tomorrow. I know it looks nice today, but fall is coming, and so are the rains, and in Washington that's no joke. So hopefully we can get this boat sealed up for that. Alright, the gel coat is prepared and the tape is down, so I'll sand and paint the rest of the deck some other day, but just for today we're going to be putting on the first layer of gel coat, which should seal it. There are some little cuts and crevices that should take care of. All right, this looks pretty good. Now keep in mind that this thick textured paint is going to come all the way up to where the bowsprit is. So any of these little tiny divots or whatever are going to disappear. Especially that one. That one's going to be underneath a large cleat. So, you know, I'm happy with this. Thank goodness I got it sealed before the rains came. All right, back down to these. Here is the hatch, and it fits in there pretty well. If I had two hands. Like I was saying, they fit kind of well. I'm gonna sand it and make sure the fit is as good as I can make it. And then using some M5 bolts, I'm gonna bolt this hinge to here and here. And then using these little neodymium button magnets, I'm gonna put one in the middle of these smaller hatches and two for the corners of the larger hatches, and then that hopefully will hold it close and put a finger hole in here. But I really don't want to install these hinges until I've painted the interior for obvious reasons. That way I don't have to tape them. So for now, I'm just going to clean it up as best I can and make sure the hatches fit, and then move on to the next project. Welcome back to the homestead. Today we're going to be cleaning off the bowsprit and the rudder. I'd like to start processing this big stuff and getting it back up to the boat and installing it. So likely the rudder is going to go back on before the bowsprit is. It's been a few days, actually several days, since I've had that chemical burn from the thickened epoxy, and that's what it looks like now. Pretty rough. That thickened epoxy really heats up, is no joke. But yeah, let's get to work on cleaning up this bowsprit. I've been whaling away and lubricating and heating and whaling away on these bolts, and I noticed after grinding some of the excess tops that there are other bolts already in there, and then feeling the other side, I can feel where they used to be. So that gave me the idea of just drilling these out, and I'm gonna need new bolts anyway, so I'm gonna drill these bolts out and leave these filler bolts, these old filler bolts, because actually on that backing plate there are more bolt holes than there are bolts here. So that backing plate was just re-drilled when they needed new bolts, I guess, because they couldn't get these old ones out. You know, I like the placement of the old bolts better, because these new bolts, I mean, you can see here there's a chunk of aluminum missing. So I think actually I'll drill out the old bolts and leave the newer bolts and just chop off the ends and seal that up with either welded or either metal filler or weld something over the top of it. All right, so I've exposed all the bolts and cut off the tops of the ones that are gonna stay in. The ones that existed, the old ones, are actually flatheads and they're recessed. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I can get a similar head so that I can have recessed bolts in the final build. That would be awesome, but not flatheads, because, you know, flatheads. Friends don't let friends have flatheads on their boat. I'm gonna take off these bits up here so that I can grind everything clean and protect some stuff that I don't want the grinder to touch. It's gonna be interesting prying this off. It looks like they used wood as like a filler or something, and that wood rotted out or something. So that's interesting. And I don't know why you would have it bent like that, unless I can perhaps bolt it down flat again. We'll see. But let's see if I can get these bolts off. There are some bolts in here that don't have anything on the end. That's fine. All right, that's, oh, took the end of the bolt off with it, but at least I can probably hammer that out. Yep, that came out. Sweet. Oh, I love it. Love it when bolts actually come out. That's awesome. Ouch. Smacked my hand into the aluminum pretty hard. Yeah. When it finally broke. Here we go. Some of these bolts I don't know how I'm gonna get out. If it comes down to it, I'll cut them. Ah. Sweet. Wow, I started flipping it over and this whole piece came off. So, okay. Yeah, I have no idea what this used to be, but it is just cake. Oh my goodness. Is that just corrosion? Did the corrosion lift it up and bend it off of the bowsprit? That's incredible. Look at that cake. Wow. Well, I'm glad I did that. This must be stainless then, or something different. If it's really eaten into the aluminum this much. Incredible. My goodness. Can I? No, these are welded together. I wonder how you would mount that. Would you put like a piece of rubber between the two or something? I have no idea. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas on how you can mount this stainless piece onto this aluminum piece. Seems like a dumb idea to me to put them together without anything as a barrier, because this is all pitted now. It's gonna take some intense grinding, and then I'll use some metal filler, and then it'll be flat again. But for the time being, holy cow! Are you ready for this? Well, I didn't expect for this to come off so easily. Wow. Check this out. Oh, oddly satisfying. Wow. Well, it's a new day, and I'm hoping I can knock this out today. I was taking a look at another seafarer online, and they have the same bowsprit, just without these extra bits on the end. So it's cool that aluminum bowsprits kind of unite seafarers across the world. So I did some research overnight and found out that the best option is to go with stainless again, but it needs to be protected. The aluminum needs to be protected from the stainless. So I guess you use Tef gel for that. And so when I put any of the stainless back on, I'm going to be using Tef gel as a barrier between the two. Even though it looks like they used blue Loctite or something, blue between the stainless, it still got through. So looks like they tried to do something like that, but it's really the best option for this aluminum bowsprit. Hopefully it'll last another 50 years, although I don't know how long these stainless elements have been on here. Probably the last, at least the last 20, probably the last 30 years or so. So I'm taking out all this stainless just to put more stainless on, but it has to be done. Yucky! Wow! That's no good. Oh no! Oh!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Shoot!
Uh-oh.
Guess I need a new bowsprit.
Yeah, you can't fix that. That's not something that props can fix. That's gonna be a little harder to fix.
Dang it. I went through all that work and the last thing that I took off was what revealed that the bowsprit isn't gonna work out. Shoot! I don't think I can get much money for recycling this aluminum. Well, I guess what I can do is measure out the dimensions. The stainless stuff still is fine, so I don't need a new anchor roller or anything like that. But what I do need is a new bowsprit. I guess Topher on MIG was right. Might not be salvageable. Dang. Yeah, this is all the end of it. Well, it made it 50 years, and I think ultimately all that stainless slowly corroding it was what did it in. So I'm gonna have to start looking for look at the old flatheads. Wow, they're totally fused in there. Yep. Well, I have a backing plate, at least an aluminum backing plate. Not that that's what I want. Ah, dang. So yeah, I'm gonna have to measure how far out the bowsprit goes so that I don't have to make any adjustments to the rigging, and I think I will try to get a stainless bowsprit. That way I can just bolt on all the other stainless stuff, including the new bobstay and everything. 2 days working on this bowsprit and getting it off and all that when I should have just junked it. But I mean, I had to do all that to get all the stainless stuff off anyway, I guess, so it's not a total loss. All right, so it's about a 6-foot bowsprit. I wonder how much those are running for stainless. Even if it's just a chunk of stainless, I'll be good. You know, I would rather just not have a bowsprit because of many reasons, but it does do a lot for the rigging. So, and all the sails and everything are designed for a boat that has a bowsprit. is this bowsprit is the original. So I am going to replace it, but I guess I don't need to have like a furnished bowsprit. I can get just a raw one. Oh, it just really sucks right now. If I had my old job, I'd be able to just buy it, but yeah, that's it's gonna be an issue now. So 6 foot long by 1 foot across. Let's see, depth probably doesn't matter too much, but let's just see, about 3 inches deep. Wonder if I can make one out of like really heavy wood epoxied together, pressed together like really nice. If I added some like metal reinforcements on it as well, like this stuff, I mean, this is a big piece of stainless that would reinforce it a lot. This is the backing plate, so got the backing plate taken care of. That would reinforce the front a bit. I just wish that was connected to that more. So maybe I can put a sheet of stainless over the top, which will help distribute the force. Oh, and the bottom, because the mast is going to be pulling up on the end of the bowsprit, trying to break it that way. I've got the bobstay trying to keep that from happening, but just in case the bobstay snaps like it has in the past from previous owners' knowledge, then I want the bobstay to be able to take the forces on the mast, just in case that happens. Oh, and then maybe some sideways force. Maybe I'll add some whiskers to the side. I'll get Spartan Marine to make little terminals for the whiskers as well, and then maybe that'll all work out. Okay, so for the rudder, my main concerns are there's quite a little bit of buildup, rust on where the post attaches, and it's even creviced here where it attaches. I'm worried that, like with the chain plates, they just used mild steel reinforcements in here or something, but I very, very much so hope not. My main goal is to just clean this up, make sure it's good. I don't want to compromise the waterproof seal that you get with the packing gland, so I'm probably gonna just use like a Scotch-Brite pad here. I don't want to make any big gouges with anything, any grinders. So might be a little bit slower of a process cleaning this up. But what I can do is I can take off the paint and put on a new layer of bottom paint. I'm gonna wait until it's back on the boat before I put on a new layer of bottom paint. But what I can do here, because it's not in the yard, is I can take this paint off, I can sand this off, and then in the yard, I'll be able to paint it when it's on the boat. Because I don't want to scratch the paint as I'm dragging this around in the yard to get it back in. I have to dig a hole underneath the boat and use a car jack to jack it up into the boat. And then I'm also gonna have to find somebody who can make a new gudgeon out of stainless. I have some leads on a dairy supply welding in Blaine that might be able to do it, but yeah, we'll see. All right, that's one side down. It honestly looks and feels better than I expected. There's no noticeable blisters or anything. The underlying layer is actually pretty intact. I might go over it with another barrier coat and before I put the new anti-foul on. But overall, pretty impressed. We'll see when I start polishing the posts if they'll be if everything's good. There is kind of a center line here, which I don't know if it's metal or fiberglass or resin or something, but it doesn't have any like crevices around it, which is good because I think the rust would probably be bleeding out of this crease or this where they put the two halves together if they had used mild steel inside and if it had been compromised. So there's some good news today. That's great. I lost the bowsprit, but the rudder might be okay. So yeah, let's do the other side. All right, so except for a few dings, there's no bends or anything, and there's some crevice corrosion here from probably inadequate zinc maintenance, because this boat, I mean, a couple of owners have just let it sit for the most part. So honestly, surprised that there's no blisters on this boat, or on the rudder, and that's pretty hopefully that holds true for the hull itself as well. So thanks for watching. It's been a wild ride of an episode. Got a lot done. I think for the bowsprit, we're gonna end up making something out of wood with stainless reinforcement and the parts that I took off the old bowsprit to save money. But thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. It helps me out a ton. If you really want to help me out, check out the Patreon. The link's in the description. Hopefully next time we'll be doing something on the boat. So I'll see you then. And thanks for watching.